for any of you who've read Boulevard, you know that it ends with a real bang. You know, and you can't even imagine this character coming back in another book, which I didn't imagine this character coming back in another book because I wrote it as a standalone. And then my agent sold a 2-book deal for me and said, okay, so go ahead and write the sequel. So I had to figure out what happens to Hayden after that. So what happens is Hayden starts off in the beginning where he's had his hand slapped. In the sense he's on a leave of absence, kind of a medical forced leave of absence, and he's been forced to have counseling and to go to Sex Addicts Anonymous meetings. And so he's kind of, when we come back into this book, he's been on 4 months or so, 5 months or so of this leave of absence. What happens is he stops acting out, or so he thinks, but he's got a lot of time on his hands, and he's sitting in his apartment, and he starts kind of fiddling with the computer and the internet, and he starts to get addicted to internet pornography. And that leads to a girl in a live chat room with the camera that he meets, and ultimately he thinks he's falling in love with, and he follows her to where she works in San Francisco. And the story begins with this scene when he's going to find her because she has escaped from this place that she'd been kept hostage. He went up to meet her for one of their meetings. They've been getting together regularly now. And she's not there. He's heard that she's run away. He tracks her down because he wants to save her, but he inevitably leads the people who are after her to her. And they take her. So that really is pretty much the beginning of the book. The rest of the book is he's got to go and get her. He's got to find her. He's got to save her. He's got a lot of weight on his shoulders because of what happened in Boulevard. You know, he's always tried to save women that he cares about, and he hasn't been too successful at that. So in this book, he is driven to save this girl, and in the process of trying to save this girl, he gets stuck into a world of corruption that he didn't know existed, where there are allies and there are enemies, and everybody ultimately wants this girl for a particular reason. And this is the reason why she ran away. And Hayden just wants to find this girl and take her away with him. So he ends up being used by everybody, and he ends up having to use them as well to try to get what he wants.